There you are.
Sounds like she's in. Yes.
Thanks, Pearl.
Hey.
Oh, thanks, Pearl.
Oh, hey. You should have kept Pearl on the line. We have
She's driving.
Oh, she's driving. That's going to be hard for her. She's such a multitasker. Were you listening earlier when I said I was going to tell you how awesome she is?
Yes, I was. Thank you for that. I know she's awesome.
Yes.
Thank you for that. You know how it all started was last year at the Fall Classic when you and Brian were watching me film, and I was there by myself because late in the fall season I lose my children, and you were like, "Oh, I bet you we could lend Dave one of our children."
They go back to school. You don't really lose them. You know where they are.
Right? Yeah, they head south the border like you are right now. But anyways, and so next thing you know, Pearl's there, and so she tries her hand at the video camera, and I mean, it took her all of 30 seconds to figure out the technology, and that's so cool. The next generation is awesome, but just a phenomenal person. I can't say that enough. In my work as a teacher, I know the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, and I always liked you and Brian. And knowing your daughter, I like you even more. You guys have done a fabulous job. So.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
But we could not do any of this without Pearl. I certainly wouldn't be here right now. I'd be back in Canada if it wasn't for Pearl.
Yeah.
So she looks after everything at home when we're not there. So
yeah.
Pearl
Where are you right now? Where's that beautiful sunshine coming from?
We're in Gilbert, Arizona.
You've been south for a while, right? Like you left shortly after the Fall Classic, if I'm not mistaken. And have you come home?
I think we left October the 19th.
Yeah.
And Brian actually flies back home tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to stay for 5 more weeks. Yeah. And then he's going to fly back and we'll drive back together.
Because for people who don't know, you guys both work in the film industry here in Alberta. And so, of course, with the work disruptions and everything that was happening, that was obviously affecting you guys. But now back to work, are things as close to back to normal?
Yes. Yeah. Things are starting back up. And it looks like it's going to be a really busy year. Yeah. So Pearl will have to step up again and do all the Bubba stuff. And
she seems to love it. And so talk to me about Bubba. I mean, I love all the names that these stallions get, but I don't know. Like I think Bubba's my favorite. You're not supposed to pick favorites, but what a great name. Who named him? Who called him Bubba?
Actually, Brian. That named him. Yeah. Bubba Watson won the Masters.
Okay. Yeah.
The year that Bubba was born. Sorry, my battery's.
Oh, well, no, this is kid. Well, we kept you on hold there for some time, so that could have been a part of it. Okay, so Bubba Watson, the golfer, the big left-handed swinging golfer. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he won the Masters, and so and Brian's a big golf fan.
Yeah. So
that's how Bubba got his name.
Well, and that makes sense because I don't know if other people remember Loch Deuce showing Bubba as a 3-year-old, if I'm not mistaken, and he would spin like nothing I had ever seen before. I got this right? I'm not making a mistake on this.
No, you're not making a mistake. Yeah, Bubba could. Well, he still can spin, but when Loch showed him, he could. Well, he sometimes would actually fall down spinning because he couldn't keep his legs under himself.
He was like, I love this. This is so fun. Let's keep on spinning. Yeah. No, it was incredible, the athleticism there. And so, okay, cool. I'm glad to know that because Spooks Big Bang has a different connection. And so your babies often come out with names connected to the Spooks Big Bang. You want to tell us a little bit about that? I think it's fun. So.
Well, yeah, I named them Spooks Big Bang because we love the Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
So I didn't even think when I put it in, I was like, there's no way this is already going to be taken. Yeah. Spooks Got a Gun is his sire. So a Big Bang is what a gun makes. Yeah. And I never thought for a second we'd get Spooks Big Bang. And we were so thrilled when we did. So our babies, out of one of the mares, we always do a Big Bang Theory kind of tie-in. Yeah. So there's a Professor Proton. Yep. There's string theory. There was Costner's name was You're in My Spot. So yeah, I don't know about this year what we're gonna do. Anybody have any ideas? Just put it on Bubba's Facebook page because we're running out. But
you can't see him, but Eric really liked the "You're in My Spot" reference there.
I think that might be my favorite one so far.
Yes.
Well, sadly, his barn name was Costner, but he broke his pastern as a 3-year-old, and we had to put him down. So You're in My Spot is no longer alive.
Yeah. And that has got to be the hardest part about this. All of this is losing these incredible friends and family members. And I know you guys, I see and I feel the love that you have. And then when one is lost, it just, yeah. But that being said, let's talk a little bit about Spooks Big Bang Bubba here, and tell us some of your highlights and stories. I'm gonna bring up some photos of him on the screen here now. So,
well, when Bubba was born, he was the mare he was out of was Brian's mare, his show mare, and she was hurt as a 5-year-old, and she had to become a brood mare. So it was kind of a who do we breed her to? And I really liked Spooks Got a Gun. And so we shipped from Spooks Got a Gun and bred her to Spooks Got a Gun. And so he was supposed to be Brian's show horse. So when he was a 2-year-old, we rode him in ourselves as a 2-year-old. He was started by Aaron Langdon and I forget his name. Oh, anyways, and so then we rode him the whole year of that he was a 2-year-old. And in October, he went to Lock to start or to progress. And he didn't even have sliding plates on when he went to Lock. He just went to Lock, and he was supposed to be Brian's non-pro horse. And then, I don't know, in the spring, he was pretty good. And we thought, well, you know what? Lock can keep showing him. He's good enough to be an open horse, and we'll give him that opportunity. Bubba, the opportunity to be shown as an open horse. And Locke and him just got along really well, and Locke did an amazing job. When you think, as a 2-year-old in October, he had never even been stopped. Yeah. Like no sliding plates. And Locke just brought him along, and he's still that same horse. Like he's easy to ride. He's easy to show. He likes to be a show horse. He likes to have his face washed, and he loves his baths. And this year, Brian actually finally got the opportunity to show him. And it was feast or famine with Brian. It's either he's going to be mad at me for this, but he usually wins it, or he has so many penalties or he does a totally different pattern and doesn't even get a score. But him and Bubba got along really well. Oh, and there's Amanda's showing him there. She showed him in the first 10,000 added exhibition.
That's right.
And she ended up, and she'd only had him for about 3 weeks. He came out of the breeding barn, went to Amanda's for 3 weeks, and then she showed him. And they did really well. I was really happy.
I remember her circles. It's funny how things stick in, but she ripped around those circles so fast, and she got pretty close to the fence. But I was just like, oh man, I don't know if you remember that, but it was awesome.
Yeah, she did really well with him, and we were pretty proud of him.
Yeah, and
that's the whole thing. We've raised him from a little baby, and everything he does, we're just like these proud parents, and now we get to see his babies. COVID was not that good to him, but now we're going to get to see his babies in the show pen, and we're excited about that.
Yeah. So, because you mentioned Professor Proton, and I've been talking about Sally Reese show, but she had Professor Proton. Am I not mistaken on that?
Yeah, she did, and he's actually, I believe he's going to be a breakaway rope horse.
Oh, cool!
A girl from Alberta bought him, and she's started. He's going to be a breakaway rope horse.
So was last year the first year that we were seeing Bubba babies out there, or how? When?
More than that, but the problem was his first 2 full crops were in the training barns during COVID. So a lot of them got sent home.
Yeah.
They got put on the back burner. Like even us, we took ours out of training and brought them home because we didn't know when we were going to work again.
Yeah.
So COVID wasn't that good to him that way. But now there's the babies in the pen are babies that have been in training.
Yeah.
from the time that they're 2-year-olds, not just sent home.
Well, I'm assuming that a lot of the people who are listening right now are here in Western Canada, and they have to know how supportive you guys have been of everything, everything raining here in Western Canada. And so, you know, you are people, if they don't know you, you heard me raving about how awesome you and your whole family is. So I hope that people are going to be excited to want to, you know, bid on this auction, and if they're not successful, then contact you and have other babies, because I think Bubba's going to be around here for a long time. Is there anything specific that you think that people would want to know as far as the winning bid and what that'll look like for them?
Well, first of all, we've bred mares, so I am always sympathetic to the mare owners.
Mm-hmm.
So we are also very, very accommodating. Like, I've put semen in the truck and driven it to Airdrie. We've collected him at a show. We've used hides when we're in Red Deer. We've, you know, left the show, gone and collected him, brought him back and showed him. We've driven semen from Red Deer to Medicine Hat. Like, we're super accommodating and we're super easy to work with. And Moore & Company is great. So, you know, anybody, when they need the semen, their vet just phones Moore & Company. She texts Pearl, and Pearl has him. We're 5 minutes from Moore & Company. So Pearl can have him there, you know, in 10 minutes after he's loaded. And yeah, we're easy, super easy to work with. Pearl's on it.
Yeah.
She's really good at communicating with the mare owners, and we're really flexible.
That sounds awesome. That sounds exactly what you want, because like that process, you know, I get the sense like it's not easy, and you know, there's hesitations, there's stress, there's all those things, because you're excited, you're making a decision, you want to have a baby. So to hear you say how supportive you guys can be and how flexible you are to work with, and I think too, like, I'm guessing there's some young Canadians out there who maybe haven't done this before, and they're afraid to ask those silly questions. And so they can send them to me, and I'll ask. I don't know. Is there anything else you'd like to add here today about our friend Bubba? Well, before, let me just say this. Thank you guys again last year for stepping up and sponsoring a saddle. Like, how awesome was that? So it makes such a big deal. And again, that's just an example of you guys supporting the community in a big way. But so I didn't want to forget that, but yes, sorry.
Well, you're of course welcome. And I just want to say Bubba's here right now with me, enjoying the winter. And yeah, other than that, thank you for doing all this, like giving us an opportunity to have a show where we can run for some money and stay in Canada.
Yeah. Well, and I see like we've still got the Nielsen's and we've got the Hewells on here. And like one of the things that I would be interested in having a conversation about, and we can move towards that, is just some of the challenges of being a stallion owner here in Canada. Are you interested in talking about that at all? Or is that kind of like, nah, that's okay?
It's challenging, but it's not impossible.
Yeah. And, you know, like I feel like something, because you mentioned like that's the purpose of creating this program. My thought is, and I brought up earlier just around like the whole win-win-win concept. And so in order for the entire industry to be successful, we do need our local stallion owners to be successful in our breeding programs, and we need our trainers to be successful, and then we need all the people who are in, you know, trying to make a living all the different ways. It all needs to be vibrant, but it really does start with, you gotta have the full crops on the ground. So I mean, have you got a sense now that you're so connected to the stallion side of things, like just, you know, how important that can be?
Yeah, like a place where people can show locally without having to travel. But if you don't have any money up, so now my horse might have $50,000 in earnings, but basically most of it's been in Alberta $1,000 at a time, as opposed to a horse that's showing in Oklahoma for $10,000 and $20,000 at a time.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't take them very long to get the $50,000.
Yeah.
And this, you guys doing this is really helpful for all of us as stallion owners, that we have an opportunity to have even our offspring make money, because, you know, not everybody is going to go to Oklahoma or, you know, go to Texas or go to those really big shows that pay the big amounts. And when someone's looking to breed to your horse, they're looking at what your horse has done and how much it's earned and how much its offspring has earned.
Yeah.
And if your horse has never traveled anywhere, how is it ever going to be able to get those earnings?
Almost need to create like some way of like tracking those numbers and figuring out, okay, these lifetime earnings, but how do they, let's do an exchange and find out what that looks like, which would be
and that's another thing that really hurts us, right?
Yeah.
Is the exchange on our money.
Yeah.
You know, I might win $1,000 here, but now it's only worth $750.
Yeah. And we're trying to, you know, as to not confuse people, you know, with that whole reality. And so we try to, as much as we can, give our earnings and communicate in those US dollars, because that's the way the game is played. Like, and it would be one day I would like to talk to the NRHA and see if they would be willing to go back to an on par dollar for us here in Canada. I mean, we share a border, and I understand that it used to be that way. And Mark and I both working all the time in both NRCHA and NCHA, and they both recognize our Canadian dollar at par. So I'd love that. We're not there, but you know, we can you know, if you're talking with people out there, listeners, and have that conversation, because it really does have an effect on us, in a really negative way. I find, because it's dollars and cents that drive the business. And so, anyways, I'll get off the soapbox, but yeah, we want to bring that money up. We want to bring that money up at a US dollar amount, and so we're going to keep doing with that. Yeah, excellent. Well, I look forward to one of these times getting down to the desert and visiting you and the other Canadian connections that are down there with you, enjoying these in these winters. So I look forward to doing that. But I'm glad that you're having some sunshine.
Thank you.
Was it, did you get a little bit more warmth this year than last year?
Yes. Yeah. It's been beautiful here. It's, it rained a few days this last week. So it rained quite a bit. So the arena was too wet to ride in. And now I think they're bringing in a tractor tomorrow, and they're going to strip it and redo it here.
Okay.
So Pearl's not going to get to ride much when she gets here, but I'm sure she'll love to go shopping or go visit Haley.
Of course. Yes. Yeah. Need to get down there to visit Haley. So excellent. Well, thank you, Giselle, for everything. And yeah, hopefully we have a really successful conclusion to the bid here for Bubba. And yeah, we'll keep everything going.